This is our girls 8 to 10 200 metre medley. Starting here, of course, with the butterfly. And Kalapari looking pretty strong at the moment. Out in front by roughly 2 to 3 body lengths. Comes inside the final 5, although a nice little fight back here from Alice Sau out of lane 7 will minimise that margin. And I'll get the touch there, only about 0.1 of a second in between the pair. So Kalapari still in control. As we now move to the backstroke. So it's Kalapari, then Zhao. Very even battle for third at the moment. Of course, these are just the heats, though. That's between Vu and Christie. And then Brodbeck sitting all the way back here in lane 6, currently in last. Still in control, though. Kalapari has increased that margin ever so slightly on the second leg of this individual medley. So coming inside the final 15 as we approach the halfway point here, the last 15 of backstroke. Strong showing so far from Kalapari, who will make the touch and now shifts into breaststroke. Now this is where we've seen time and time again, if you're a frequent watcher of youth swimming, a lot of chopping and changing occurs with the breaststroke. So Kalapari got the touch in 1:40.03, has increased that margin from 0.1 of a second now to about 1.5 seconds in front of Zhao. And then Vu just in front of Christie for that battle for third. And then Brodbeck now touching in 1:57.77. So Kalapari approaching the final 25 metres of that breaststroke. And she has increased the margin. There hasn't been much chopping and changing. It's a good little comeback here from Brodbeck, actually. Her breaststroke stint has been quite strong. She has closed the gap for third between Vu and Christie. It's previously a 6-second margin. I don't think it'll be quite that big now. Kalapari approaching the final 5 metres of this breaststroke and about to turn into the last leg. That'll be freestyle to bring it home. And Kalapari gets the touch with a 2:43.75, followed by Zhao's 2:46.78. So roughly a 3-second split. Brodbeck has made up serious ground here on this breaststroke lap. She's now just 0.3 of a second in behind Christie and about 1.5 seconds behind Vu. So genuine three-way tussle now for the bronze. Kalapari in control, though, with about 20 to go in this one. Approaching the final 15. This will be Kalapari's race. A genuine battle here for the bronze in this one, of course. Still just the heats, but third place is up for grabs. Kalapari will take this one out. She's led from the outset and stays strong all the way to the finish. Gets the touch here. Not flashing up at the moment, so that will be a soft touch on the wall. That's why that's not happening. And then out in lane 7, Zhao has done enough to hold on for second. Her time 3:38.97. Then very tight across the board for third place. And it's just going to be Vu in the end with a 3:42.98, followed by Christie with a 3:43.55. Great effort from Brodbeck to come back and really make it a battle for that third place. So up onto the blocks now. Heat 2 of 2 in our timed finals for event 4. The boys 11 to 13, 200 metre individual medley senior division for Paulding. Siders in the 0, Flippants in 1, Purser in 2, Thompson in 3, Wu in 4, McVean in 5, Balcom in 6, McNamara in 7, Ford in 8, and Petrolo in 9. Now, Matthew Balcom was very impressive for Sydney Catholic Schools. So too Arthur Wu and Cameron McVean. They've been very good of late too. And it is going to be Arthur Wu who gets to the wall first. 32.7 already with a 2-second margin there on Cameron McVean, who's in at 34.7. Balcom and a fair way off that pace, but Benjamin McNamara also starting strongly. Picking up a 37-second split there. Take a look at the work here of Arthur Wu. Now in front by probably a good 5 lengths at this point, maybe even more as he approaches the final 15 metres of the backstroke and approaches the halfway point of this race. So his seed time 2:36.96. And there's the touch made of 1:10.3. And into breaststroke he goes. So you might have heard in the background as well, the confirmation of Emerson Hu's record. That was a sub 2:30 time. So Arthur Wu, for reference, in the same division here for the boys, has a 2:36.9. So who's swimming quicker at this point? Now the question is, does Wu hear that? Does he respond, go for that PB and try and get a sub 2:30 time? Certainly been very strong so far. McVean continues to try and apply the pressure though, but he's about 5 metres in behind Wu at this point in time. Battle for third is an interesting one too. At the moment between Siders in the 0 and Matthew Balcom in 6. But there's the touch made from Arthur Wu, 158.1. 2:02 for Cameron McVean. It's a 4-second split between the pair. And Balcom should just get to the wall here in third. Does so just in front of Ford. And then just in behind him is Siders, who's just dropped off the pace a touch. But Wu certainly hasn't. Continues to power to the final 15 metres of this one. Arthur Wu with a great swim here. It won't be a sub 2:30 time, but it will still be very, very strong. And we'll touch the wall here eventually in a time of 2:33.58. So great swim from Wu, shaving off about 2.5 seconds from that qualifying time. McVean in 2:39.15. Shaves off a second from his time. And Balcom is just going to lose out here. Great swim in the end from William Ford, who got there for third with a time of 2:47.8. So excellent swimming from Ford. And that will wrap up our second of the two time finals here for event 4. The boys 11 to 13 200 metre individual medley senior division. For McKillop.
In this first heat.
So moving on now to the second of our two time finals for event 10, the boys 12 to 13 50 metre backstroke. Record of course 33.79. It's Ford in the 0, Flippins in 1, Siders in 2, Balcom in 3, Wu in 4, Jamulovitz in 5, McVean in 6, McNamara in 7, Alvarez in 8 and Keenan in 9. And the record could be under threat here as well. Arthur Wu has already smashed one earlier today, and he starts beautifully here. So he's in front of Jamulovitz at the moment, who's really pressing him hard though. Great start made here from Jamulovitz, but Wu still in control here. Now as the clock ticks over to 20 seconds, 33.79 is that time. It's under siege here. Great swimming from Wu and Jamulovitz, then back in at fourth. Looks to be a very good effort coming in from Balcom, but Jamulovitz is now going to have to settle for second. It's going to be tight here with Wu. Gets the touch in 33.44 and does get the record as well. Great swim from Arthur Wu. Shaves off about 0.3 of a second from quite an old standing record for that matter as well. In this boys 12 to 13 backstroke. Terrific effort set by Hunter Bastow a couple of years ago. 33.79. Prior to that, though, it was a long-standing one. So Arthur Wu has said, you know what, give that to me, I'll take it.
Well, we're talking about old records. The next event is event 110.
Yes, you too, and to Sydney Catholic
And a happy Easter to you.
Happy Easter as well, mate.
So, second of the time finals is event 20. Bradley Lamb in 0, Brodie Peterson 1, Henry Nixon 2, Archer Turner in 3, Cameron McVean in 4, Arthur Wu, we've called his name a few times already, in 5, Jet Purser 6, Matthew Balcom 7, Bo Siders in 8 and Ashton Chu in 9. And it's Cameron McVean in lane 4 who's really surging slightly ahead of lane 5, Arthur Wu, but Arthur Wu looks in control and he's certainly coming out of the water quite well, so this is going to be an interesting finish. It's still lane 4, Cameron McVean out in front. The record is 38.64 for the boys 12 to 13 breaststroke, but it's going to be lane 4. It is Cameron McVean from Archer Turner and Arthur Wu. So Cameron McVean 36.43 wins the boys 12 to 13 breaststroke. We move to the poling.
13 50 metre butterfly. Now McKillop division. Kovalev, McNamara, Jamulowitz, Siders, Wu, McVean, Flippins, Liang, Keenan and Ford 0 through to 9. Into the water they go. Great start made here from Arthur Wu out of Castle Hill. 32.71 is his seed time, but he has already broken a record today. Can he best that 31.34 by Matthew McDonald? Very strong start from Wu. Just in behind him is Siders. McVean also applying the pressure, both about 3/4 of a body length in behind. Very strong work, though, as well from Flippins and also Liang. So Flippins in particular hops up into second, but Wu well and truly in control. Will take this one to the wall. Good time about to flash up as well. 31.98, just outside of record-breaking territory by about 0.6 of a second, but a great swim from Arthur Wu. So Wu gets it. And then very tight thereafter, but Flippins besting Siders. And then Jamulowitz having to settle for fourth. And some very strong times posted in this one, but it's going to have to be a pretty good one to try and best the record set by Tahalmi Maxwell back in 2006, one of the longest standing ones, 28.06 from Maxwell. And this one, it's Pedersen, McNamara, Balcom, McVean, Wu, Siders, Lamb, Liu, Flippins and Jamulowitz, 0 through to 9. All into the water they go. Bradley Lamb starts well. Even better, though, is both Siders and Wu. Now, Wu does have a record that he's already busted today, so he'd be the most likely. He is in front with about 25 to go. Wu has roughly half a body length on the next closest. That's Siders, followed by McVean out of lane 3. And then Balcom also making a move on him. In fact, Balcom might get in front of McVean here, but Wu will take it out. It's going to be a really strong swim once again, just outside of record time. 29.33, so 2 sub-30-second times in there. Siders will end up in second, and Balcom is coming home with a wet sail and got in front of McVean for the bronze.
We have heat 2 of the boys, 8 to 13 metres, 100 metres freestyle. We have McNamara in lane 0. Lane 1, we have Ford. Lane 2, Flipperance. Lane 3, McVean. Lane 4, Wu. Lane 5, Thompson. Lane 6, Siders. Lane 7, Balcom. Lane 8, Lamb. And lane 9, Hill.
I think we should throw Luke McNamara a shout out. The father of Ben. Catholic schools.
Yep. Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the results for
so Ben goes to
the girls 8 to
St. Mary St. Joseph.
St. Mary St. Joseph at Maroubra. So he's over there in lane 0. Shout out to my old school, our lady Fatima, who have a competitor in lane 9, Ashley Hill. But the action is in the middle of the pool there, Rob. So lane 4,
Arthur Wu.
Arthur Wu's looking strong at the moment. Arthur Wu from Castle Hill, out in our Parramatta diocese. So lane 4 from lane 6. We've got lane 4 and lane 6 that are looking good at the moment. Lane 4 and lane 6 at the moment, so let's keep an eye on this time. The swimming fast times today, so I'll be very interested to see if he breaks his 105 from his seeding time. So let's keep an eye on this, Rob. So we've got lane 4, which is Arthur Wu. Lane 4 out in first, and he's about 3 body lengths ahead now. So lane 4 finishing the wall on a time of 104, which has broken his time.
Well done, Dave.
Well done, well done.
A strong achievement in a quick time.
Second, we have lane 6, Bo Siders. Third, we have William Ford over in lane 1. That young William snuck up on us there in lane 1.
Crept up.
Yeah. That's why all the action's happening everywhere here today, Rob, and it's such a wonderful event.
And that's shaving about 7 seconds off their seed time, so I'll be very pleased with that as we now move to our second time final for event 58, the boys 11 to 13. 4x50 metre freestyle relay for McKillop. Wagga Wagga in the 0, Menai in 1, Castle Hill in 2, Lewisham in 3, OLF Carringbar in 4, North Sydney in 5, St John's Bosco Engadine in the 6, Bulli in 7, Kensington in 8, and SP&P Kiama in the 9. Into the pool they go. A rapid beginning here from Castle Hill. This has been a feature of the relay so far. Castle Hill getting away to very fast starts, so we know their strategy. It's leading with one of their top swimmers from the outset. As they approach the final 5 metres of lap number 1, they'll have a sizable advantage compared to the rest of the field. There's the touch made in 38.7. And it's about 3 seconds in front of the next closest. Max Green there out of Wagga Wagga from lane 0, then in at 33.22. So a big advantage here for Castle Hill, but straight away on the change.
Yeah, Caringbah have a really good second change here, and he's flying. Asher Hill from Our Lady of Fatima, Caringbah, has taken the lead from Castle Hill. And then way down here in lane 9, it's a good swim also from the young man Jack Richards from Kiama. But it's Caringbah at the moment as we head into the third leg of this relay. And at 104.44, 107.25, so just under 3 second lead over their nearest rival.
Well, it's essentially a 5 second turnaround. They were behind by at least 2, maybe even 3 seconds on that previous change. But approaching now the final leg, and OLF Caringbah looking really strong here. 2:12.4 their seed time. It's significantly quicker than the rest of the competition. 2:19 from North Sydney, the next closest. And at the moment, they've probably got about a 5 second gap already. So expect that to potentially be extended here. Last touch coming up, 1:39.01 for OLF Caringbah. And the margin now is a massive 6 seconds. So 1:45.02. The next closest comes from Lewisham, and now they're already at the halfway point of this final lap, so they can't be caught from here. There's a little bit of pressure on second place at the moment, still being held here by Lewisham, but finishing very strongly is Castle Hill and also Wagga Wagga. Castle Hill might well get them here, Lewisham. They'll just run out of real estate. Lewisham should be able to hold on for the silver, and they will get the touch. Castle Hill, though, coming on with a wet sail, do enough to get in front of Wagga Wagga, but a great swim there across the board from OLF Caringbah. Hunter Small finishes it off, and 2:11.1, good time, shaves off another 1.3 seconds off their seed time mark.
Yeah, and only about a second and a half off the record that's held by Caringbah from 2018. So, Shire School, very strong swimmers, many of them in the surf club and swimming for their local swim clubs as well. So 4 very strong swimmers in that particular relay team.
Still another time final to come though, Mark.
Correct, and looking at the seed times, the times in the next heat are a lot quicker than the ones posted by these teams. But you never know. So it's all lane 4 at the moment. Mary Immaculate Quakers Hill from the Parramatta Diocese. It's Neve Palmer in the pool for Quakers Hill. And although there's a bit of work being done here by Our Lady of Lourdes, so we've got a swimmer coming